So this question says, outline how Liatel's study links to the developmental area of psychology, support your answer with evidence from the study. So the developmental area of psychology talks about how behaviour occurs in stages and it develops across the lifespan. So those are two good assumptions that you can use. It also talks about nature and nurture. So Liatel was looking at moral development and how it occurs over time. So you might want to say that the Chinese and Canadian sample showed that at different ages they believed in, different things about morals. Obviously put some findings in, because you need some evidence from this to support what you're saying. So you can say that about changing over time and developing across the lifespan. So as they're getting older, their kind of thinking about morals is changing. It's following Kohlberg's kind of stages of development. You might also want to say that it's happening in those stages, because that's also an assumption of the developmental approach. So they're going through the pre-conventional and the conventional and the post-conventional. Talk a little bit about that. And then you might want to talk about nature nurture, because although these children are going through the stages, which is probably the nature element of it, they're not going through it in the same way. So that's probably the nurture element of it. So, Chinese children thought differently about morals than Canadian children. So, for example, they were less likely to admit that they'd done a pro-social act, because they didn't want to kind of like look like they were boasting in front of everybody else. So there's differences there, so that's probably a nurture explanation, even though they are going through those stages, which is in nature. So you've got three assumptions there that you can link the Liatel study to. You just also need to make sure that you put in some findings, because it says evidence from this study, to kind of support what you're saying about those assumptions, and then you'll get the marks.